The French Revolution was a time when many people left a lasting impact on the history of the world. From revolutionaries to military commanders to government leaders, everyone who had a voice in the revolution changed the course of history by being a part of it. Louis Davout was a military revolutionary who played a very important role in Napoleon's initial success in the Napoleonic War. As a military commander, Louis Davout greatly influenced the French Revolution by helping Napoleon to create his grand empire and gain control over much of Europe and spread his Napoleonic messages and ideas to the world. In the year 1770, Louis Davout was born into a noble family in Hainaut, France. Louis attended l'École Royale Militaire, or the Royal Military School, in Paris, France. In 1788, Davout enlisted in King Louis XVI's service as second lieutenant. However, in 1790, a year into the French Revolution, he decided to side with the revolutionaries. This decision caused him to be forced out of the Royal Army, but in 1792, when the First Republic came to power, he was reinstated. It was around the time of the First Republic when he changed his surname from Davout to Davout, as to conceal his noble background. In 1798, Davout served in Egypt under Napoleon. While in Egypt, Napoleon's army was defeated badly, so Davout escaped back to France with Napoleon, abandoning their French troops in Egypt. When Davout returned to France, he married Napoleon's sister's sister-in-law, Louis-Aimée Leclerc. Davout was appointed Marshal of the Empire, which is one of the highest officer rankings created by Napoleon for his military. Davout was promoted because of the troops that he was in command of's great success. They became Napoleon's army's third corps. Davout's most significant impact on the French Revolution occurred when he was Marshal in Napoleon's army from 1805 to 1815. As Marshal of the Empire in 1805, Davout played an important role in the Battle of Austerlitz. The Battle of Austerlitz was considered one of Napoleon's army's greatest victories. 68,000 French soldiers defeated about 90,000 Russian and Austrian troops. Davout led his 10,000 soldiers in holding off an attack from 40,000 enemy soldiers, while Napoleon directed 20,000 French infantry to attack the Austrians and Russians in Pratzen Plateau. Austria's defeat forced them to agree to peace with France in the Treaty of Pressburg, and shortly after the battle, Francis I of Austria agreed to stop hostilities and had Alexander I take his army back to Russia. In 1806, Davout and his 26,000 Third Corps men defeated almost 60,000 Prussian troops in Auerstedt at the Battle of Jena. Davout's 26,000 troops took on Duke of Brunswick Charles William Ferdinand's main Prussian army. Davout led his troops to hold off Ferdinand's troops for 6 hours before Ferdinand was mortally wounded. After this, Davout brought his troops up to take out the whole Prussian line, and by the end of the day had defeated the Prussians. His great victory gave Davout spot as Duke of Auerstedt. One last battle that Davout played a key role in was the Battle of Eylau. After their great victory over the Prussians in the Battle of Jena, the Russians were the last big enemy remaining for the French to defeat in the Napoleonic War. The Battle of Eylau had a great number of casualties, with about 25,000 deaths for the French and about the same for the Russians. Davout's troops marched into Eylau to meet Napoleon, and when they arrived, his troops attacked the Russian flank, but they were held off by the Prussian allies of the Russians. Another of Napoleon's marshals, Ney's, men arrived as reinforcements and helped as the final straw before Benzing of Russia ordered a retreat after a long, freezing day of fighting. Both sides declared victory for the battle. There was no clear winner of the Battle of Eylau, and no huge advancements were made for either side, but Davout still played an important role in helping the French stay strong and keep their ground during the difficult conditions of the battle. In 1812, Davout commanded Napoleon's First Corps during Napoleon's Russian invasion. After Napoleon was defeated in the Russian invasion, Davout was still left in command of the city of Hamburg, which he had surrounded until May of 1814, when he surrendered it after hearing of Napoleon's defeat. Davout returned to France under Louis XVIII's reign and was not allowed in. He was appointed Minister of War in 1815 when Napoleon regained power, but after Napoleon's defeat at Waterloo, Davout was exiled again. In 1819, he was allowed back in France, gained back honor, and earned the title as Peer of France. Davout helped Napoleon win battles that helped the French army make great advancements, defeat Austria and Prussia, and get Russia to become an ally of France. These victories led to Napoleon's great empire dominating Europe. Davout was a very important member of the French military during the Napoleonic War. He helped Napoleon make great gains in the Revolution, creating his empire, and helped Napoleonic ideas get widespread so they would live on even past Napoleon's defeat.